Hi, good evening, brothers. Thanks for tuning in. How are you guys doing? Hello, Sanguinius. Hello, Rezio. I'm on a different microphone tonight, so give me a shout out if the sound levels seem okay. We fire up some music. And yeah, give me a shout if the music is too quiet or too loud, I guess, as well, please. I think I'm painting veterans tonight. I was doing edge highlighting earlier on a bike. I don't know, kind of feel like I should finish the bike. Maybe I was gonna finish it. Music's a bit loud, thank you. You know, it's one of those things where like you feel like you're in pain doing something, so I was definitely feeling the burn with the edge highlighting. So I thought maybe we'd do some veterans tonight. I'm unsure if these guys are actually making it into my competitive list, but I figure I'll get them done, right? Thanks, Tony. How are you anyway tonight? You well? Yeah, I mean, I think we'll start on the veterans. We'll do a little bit on them, and then we'll see where we go from here. Haven't really got any set colors or anything that I want to do. Just gonna try and get some paint on them. Good evening, Anthony. How you doing? But yeah, I hope you guys had a good day. Is anyone working on hobby tonight, or what's the plan? I've got this tournament coming up, so that's kind of why. I think I've painted a lot recently, so I feel like I need a little bit of a break. But you know, when you've got a tournament coming up, you sometimes you just have to power through and get stuff done. So that's where I am at the moment. Cool. Oh, you're on hold with artwork. Yeah, it's a good question, Riziel, I guess. I actually don't know what to do, I guess, because I'd already spoken to this artist about doing a commission for like a new logo. So I'd pretty much agreed to. I'd agreed basically to pay them for it as well, like, and just told them I was just waiting till the end of the month to get it done. So I don't want to be like I don't want to not do that now, because I kind of promised, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's why I haven't chased you up too much on your idea. But I mean, I do like your idea, so I guess the question is, do you want to waste your, like, I don't want to say do you want to waste your time, but like if, like, I'm gonna, I don't know, the integrity in me says, like, if I said to someone, could you do this bit of work for me, agreed to pay them, and then change my mind, like I guess I wouldn't do that to somebody, I guess. Not so average Joe. I submitted a list 3 weeks ago and just realized that one of my intended strats won't work because of the keywording I overlooked. Can I submit a new list? Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Just submit it the same way you submitted the last one, and just say it's to replace the list that's in the queue, and I'll find where you are in the queue, and I will change your list out. It's not a problem at all. Good evening, Jeff. How you doing? Yeah, I mean, like, here's the deal, Rezio. Like, I'm gonna need something that can go on a t-shirt, right? Because just this week again, someone was asking, like, can I get a Blood Angels Commander t-shirt? And I was like, so the way YouTube works is when you get to 10,000 subscribers, I don't know if I'll get to 10,000, but like, you know what, I am getting like 10 new subscribers every day, so I guess just a matter of time maybe before we get to 10,000. So when we get to 10,000, we're going to need something for a t-shirt. So, but I do need a new logo as well, and I guess both the logo and the t-shirt stuff needs to be distinct enough that like Games Workshop wouldn't be upset with it, right? So that's a thing that's going to have to happen. And I mean, I don't know if you noticed, I already changed the name of the channel from Blood Angels Commander to just BA Commander this week, just to be safe, I guess, with all the drama going down with Games Workshop. I don't want to I don't want to have any risk to the channel, right? Like, I do not want to get the channel shut down just because. I mean, when I first created the channel, I did try and search in the UK, like, do they have the trademark on Blood Angels? And like, I couldn't find anything specifically that says like Blood Angels as a term is trademarked, but like, I've just changed the channel name just to be safe. So I guess we're going to probably change the channel logo, and then we're going to need something for a t-shirt, both of which need to be, I guess, like, it needs to look like it's a Space Marine without being a Space Marine, right? I guess that's going to be the tricky thing. Or it needs to look like a Blood Angel without being a Blood Angel. Blood Angels are a popular chapter, and you put out content regular enough that the holy algorithm promotes the channel. I think you'll get 10k. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. And welcome, Ryan W. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, I mean, I try and put out well, do you know what? I say I try. I've put out a video every Friday for a year. The channel's just past 1 year old, and my goal was to just be consistent and put out a video every week. So we've done that. Some weeks the videos have been better than others, you know, like I do have a life and I do have a day job, so but some of the videos have been awesomely received. People are loving the tier list series that I've been doing with Tony and Mark as of late. So there's been a lot of positive energy around the channel. So that's why I'm like scared, I guess, not to. I don't want to annoy Games Workshop and get shut down. So we're gonna try and be. I don't even know what you would call it. We're just gonna try and like make sure that like everything we're doing is fair and valid. Hey, thanks, Highland. Nice to be back. I had a great holiday last week. But I've been so tired all week. Like every night this week, I've been super tired. I don't know if it's just the swing of getting back into work. Last week, I was pretty much drinking every single day. So it's been a long time since I drank every single day for a week. So maybe my old body is catching up on me. But do you know what? I did climb the Cairn Gorm last week, which is the sixth highest mountain in Scotland, I believe, and did that the first day so that I was a little bit healthy, and then the rest of the week I just drank like whiskey. I drank a lot of White Russians. I think White Russian is a new favorite drink of mine. It's very, very easy to drink if you buy good quality vodka and good quality coffee liqueur. Like it's almost like a coffee milkshake that's like 50% vodka. It's very good. Yeah, I mean, we could make it a Blood Angel. I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna do. It's gonna be tricky, but I guess we'll come up with something. And yeah, Reziel, I'll message you in Discord in the next few days, I guess, and try and think. Like, I guess the problem is like I don't even know what to do. You know, like. Yeah, I mean, I just don't even know what to do, right? Like, it's like I said, like it's almost like it needs to be a Blood Angel, but not look like a Blood Angel, and at that point, yeah, it's just confusing. Like I don't know what to do. The tier list series is a popular video archetype, and I think the videos you made were good. I pretty much agree with most of the choices. Yeah, I mean, we always get a few choices wrong. You know, someone's always on us about one of the choices. Like those tier videos are never perfect, but they give you a good indication of what's good or what's not good. You know, I was in Glasgow recently. Well, I say recently. I guess it was. When did the pandemic start? March 2020. So it would have been like, I guess, August 2019. That's what counts as recently now. Literally 2 years ago, because we haven't done anything for 2 years. So I was in Glasgow in August 2019, and they have a bar that has a menu that is all White Russians. The bar's called Nice and Sleazy's, I think, and yeah, they just just imagine a menu you'd get at a dinner restaurant, but like it's just got like 30 different White Russians on it. I went there on a stag do, and we just had so many. Well, I mean, it's from your perspective, right, Tony? Everybody has a different perspective on how they want to play Blood Angels and what they think's strong and what they think's not. So, I think for the most part we've done a good job on those tier list videos. But yeah, some people always have a slightly different perspective on things. Do you think company veterans and drop pod could be viable for play? Throwing 10 vets down possibly in the very first turn could be interesting. I mean, if you wanted to back them up with like a Forlorn Fury Death Company, I feel like, here's the thing, right? I think it kind of got proved last week in my game against Admech, right? If you go for this like full-on Alpha Strike list and you get turn 1, or you get, obviously both players get turn 1. What I'm trying to say, sorry, is if you get to go first in turn 1, you can absolutely wreck your opponent. Here's the thing, if you don't get to go first, I mean, it can all flip round and you can be in a difficult position. So if you like the 50-50 gamble, I mean, go for it, right? But for me, I'm not a super strong fan of I'm not a super strong fan of Forlorn Fury and or drop pods on turn 1, I guess. But I mean, there's nothing to say 10 veterans making a turn 1 charge. I mean, Lightning Claws are super competitive right now, right? Like the reroll to wounds is very, very good, especially if you're fighting up against, like, I guess potentially those new orcs that are going to be like transhumans. So the Lightning Claws give you a lot of value, and or Dark Angels, again, Lightning Claws give you a lot of value, and against other factions as well. It's hard to say Lightning Claws aren't good, you know, they're very good with Red Thirst. I guess if you're going to do a turn 1 drop pod like that, would you consider Corbulo in the pod though, right? Like, because it would be really nice if you can get some of those units into Assault Doctrine, right? What paintbrushes do you use? The ones that I swear by are these Element Game character brushes. They used to be about £6. I think they're about £7 now, but like, if you, they're of equivalent, like I think they're like a size 0 brush or a size 1, I can't remember. But I mean, I use them for pretty much all my fine detail work, and you get a lot of painting out of them, like a lot of hours. Like, people have said on stream that like I twist the bristles in ways and I don't particularly paint very well, which is, you know, like is probably valid criticism. But I want to say that these element brushes get me, I'm trying to think, like 100 hours, probably 100 hours or more out of these brushes, and like I do not treat them well. Whereas like when I spent the £15, these weren't in stock for a little while during the pandemic, so I spent like £15 on a Games Workshop Artificer brush, and honestly it lasted like 2 paint sessions, so like 4 hours, and I was like, wow. I mean, that just makes these Element Games ones even more, puts them up in estimation even more. So I really like them. I've been using them now for about 3 years. I did get, one of the guys on Twitch sent me like a bunch of these Citadel synthetic ones, you know, the new synthetic ones, rather than the horsehair, and they are very cheap, because they're about $3.99, some of these brushes. And I use these as well, and I would say that they're better value than those Artificer ones too. They don't probably get like 20 hours out of those before they, you know, before they don't hold at a nice point and stuff. Yeah, this is what I do, I guess. I'm doing it while I'm literally repointing this as I paint. So apparently this is really bad for them because you're like pulling on all the bristles. So I do this all the time, and these things still give me like 100 hours. So based on the fact that I probably paint like 30 or 40 hours a month, I guess it means like spend 30 or 40 pounds a year on these brushes. Tagline on the back of the t-shirt is no longer ABC, it's BAC. You know, I could get on board with that. I mean, I guess they can't copyright that, right? That's a pretty cool idea, Highland. Fingerless gloves merch. Do you know what? It's been warm in my house for. It's been so long since I needed my gloves, huh? It's usually about September, so like one more month and I'll be bringing the gloves back. Don't you worry. We had someone around to view the house today, actually. So like, and they said that they loved our house. So this house might actually sell. So we maybe have that to look forward to soon. We've been on the market since like November, so it's just the market up here I think is slow because of COVID. People have uncertainty about their jobs and security and stuff, so it's hard to buy a house when you don't know if you're going to have a job, I guess. The channel art has to have a reference to the gloves, okay. I mean, it would be nice if the channel art had a reference to... Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think long and hard about this channel art, because I want it... Maybe we should ask for submissions in like a community post or something and ask people like if they have ideas like for the first Blood Angels Commander t-shirt. We could run like a little contest. That might be a cool idea. I am not an artist, so yeah, I generally don't, like, I just don't have the creativity, I think, for the artists. I work with some artists, and they were actually surprised at how good my miniature painting was. They were like, wow, could you paint Death Company? Yeah, I mean, I've painted Death Company. I could paint Death Company on a stream. I do mine with blue. Yeah, blue. I was gonna say. I do mine with Fenrisian blue edge highlighting. So my Death Company scheme is kind of simple, right? Like I just spray them black, then I Fenrisian edge highlight like pretty much the whole model, and then grab all the other details. I was edge highlighting a chaplain on a bike earlier today. The Primaris chaplain on the bike. I made a conversion of the Primaris chaplain. I didn't actually buy him because he's kind of... I mean, he's no more expensive than any other model, I suppose, but I didn't buy one. I converted one. And I spent... Like, I'm really slow edge highlighting, so I spent this morning edge highlighting this part of the bike. Just like this bit at the back, and then the other side. Oh, and I free-handed this X on here, which isn't brilliant either. But yeah, it took like just to edge highlight that bike bits like that. That took me like 2 hours. Could probably be neater as well, but yeah, I mean, the next thing to do would be to edge highlight the chaplain, and I was thinking of doing that next or tomorrow. Just after doing that bike today, my motivation for edge highlighting seems to be... I am so slow at edge highlighting. I make so many mistakes and end up having to go like back and forth all the time when I edge highlight. I use... Obviously I wear glasses. I have a magnifying glass right here just off camera. So like it's a 300% magnifying glass. So it's basically like the model's blown up 300% of the size. So I can basically just so I can see them better, I guess. So yeah, I feel like the end results is okay. Like I wouldn't say it's brilliant. I would say it's okay. I feel like I feel like it's slightly higher than tabletop standard, the edge highlighting that I've done there, but just takes me forever. But yeah, we could paint Death Company on a stream sometime. Something about the current delivery situation of Element Games or Wayward Games UK with deliveries of Germany. I think it's probably Brexit, man. Like, what a mess Brexit has been. I mean, a lot of people here in the UK knew it was going to be a mess, but I guess it still got voted through. So, yeah, I've heard about businesses struggling to export to Europe now, and I've heard also horror stories about import taxes for importing stuff from the EU, and just this week it's just been a mess. So I guess like if you probably still can order from Element. It's just gonna either take a little bit longer and or cost a little bit more. So if you can't, if you're not willing to do that, then I guess I don't have like a super solid brush recommendation at the moment out with that. I'm sorry. Is that the Primaris Chaplain on the bike? Yes, but like I said, it's not the official model. So this is actually an Outrider, and I cut this book off the back of the Indomitus Chaplain, like it stuck to his backside, and stuck it here. This is a bit of a Dreadnought, the guard that goes like over the Dreadnought's arm. Like if the Dreadnought had like the halberd, the Librarian Dreadnought. This is like a Sanguinary Guard, little knife thing. These are some grenades I guess I found on some other random spew. I stuck on like a Purity seal back here. This is the backpack, I believe, from that chaplain with the top of the captain's. The captain that come in Indomitus? I think this is the top of his backpack. So it might be like the chaplain's backpack with the top of the Indomitus captain's backpack. Then the upper torso bit is the actual chaplain from Indomitus. This is the Outrider's arm though. Up to the wrist is the chaplain from Indomitus, and then this is the actual Blood Angel specific chaplain, the one with the cool wings. I used his wings on a Smash Captain, so I had this chaplain lying around, so I made this. So the way you can tell that it's a firstborn hand is if you look at the arm and look how thick the arm is here, and then look at the hand, it feels like a little bit like a midget hand, like it's just a little bit smaller, but like if you're not looking at it super in depth, you wouldn't see it. And then this skull helmet was actually from eBay. So this guy is a pretty hefty conversion, I guess. But I mean, he's on the right size base, and I think he looks enough like a chaplain on a bike, right? Does anyone know if you can still get the command tanks from Warhammer World? I was at Warhammer World. Let me think what year it was. When was I at Warhammer World? I think I was at Warhammer World in 2015, and they still had the command tanks. So, I mean, that's a long... Would it be that long? It might be that long ago. Yeah. And then I was at Warhammer Fest, 2018, I think. So maybe it was 2016. So 3 or 4 years ago, they definitely had them. But I don't know anymore. I actually don't think they have rules anymore now, Harry. Like, I think they all went into Legends. So I'm not even sure if they're totally... I'm not even sure it would be of like great value to you to find and or pick them up, I guess. Thanks, Captain. I appreciate that. Yeah, GW, well, I mean, like, I was actually saying the other night, because Colin and Brett were wanting to get that Hex Firebox, right? For the new Thousand Suns and the Grey Knights. And I was actually saying, like, it's getting a bit annoying how all the new boxes, because I don't know if you guys know, some of you do, the only other army I have models for in 40k at the moment is Thousand Suns, right? So, like, arguably I would like the new Infernal Master. I actually don't own any Thousand Sun Terminators. The models I have are, like, I have a Demon Prince, I have Rubric Marines, I have Tansgors, I have, or Zangors rather, the T silent, isn't it? I have Zangors, I have a Slaughter Brute, I think, and like I think I have one other thing, which is the big walker with the mechanic arms. I forget. It's like a demon engine or something. So I think I have about 700 points of Thousand Suns, and yeah, maybe at some point I would like some occult Terminators or whatever they're called, and I wouldn't mind a character to lead that army, because with 750 points, at some point it was going to become an army, right? And yeah, I was actually saying, like, it's getting really annoying that all the new releases are like, you must buy these new releases, like you get like a window of a week or 2 weeks to buy them, sometimes even less, because these pre-orders will sell out. So it's like, you just have to buy them. And I was like, I don't think I care about the Thousand Suns enough. Like, I like the army, but like obviously I'm committed to Blood Angels, so I was like, I don't know if I want to buy this box. But maybe if you gave me 6 months, and I finished like another 300 or 400 points of Blood Angels and like my army list's complete and I'm happy with it, then I would be tempted to buy it. But it's the fact that like they're just doing this cycle now where it's like you have to buy it when they put the box out, or there's a very good chance you don't get it. I don't like it. Like it just feels like they're just pressuring you into buying all the time, and it's like, as someone who's got a family, and like, it's like some months I just do not have £100. So if I do not have £100, like, I don't know, I think it's just a horrible release cycle. And the speed they're releasing it as well, like, because they just released that last week, and then this week it's like the Death Corps of Krieg and the Kill Team stuff, and it's like, I kind of like the look of those Krieg guys. I actually saw on eBay painted them in like a reddy Blood Angels color, and I thought like, oh, they look really cool. Like, would it not be cool to have those Death Corps guys and paint them up in Blood Angels, because like, maybe you could run them as scouts if they can have shotguns. They definitely have las cannons, I think, or sorry, las guns, and I think some of them definitely probably have bolters. So you could probably do, like, I don't know if you guys have seen my scouts that are conversions. Like, I already converted a Necromunda gang into scouts because I like the look of them. But the fact that like everything is just so pressured to buy in such short time frames, I just kind of hate it, honestly. Like, I'll buy when I want to buy, like, and like, I feel like I spend a lot of money on this hobby. I don't need any extra push to like buy 2 huge box sets in like a 2-week period. Like, come on, what is that all about? Teeth of Terror or double Lightning Claw on a Death Company Captain, and do you use such weapons on your characters? You prefer high punchy loadouts like Thunderhammers? When I ran the Death Company Captain, I ran him with Teeth of Terror. I ran him with Teeth of Terror and Imperium Sword, which gives him, I believe, 11 attacks pretty early in the game. And the only thing that the Teeth of Terror is weak against is Death Guard or any other army that's got like -1, but I like the Teeth of Terror a lot. I think it's a good combo, and I actually don't think, like, if you're going to take one Lightning Claw, I feel like you should just take a Storm Shield, because the second Lightning Claw actually just adds so, it doesn't actually add a lot if you think about it, right? Like, it adds 1 more attack and you already have 9 attacks, so it's like or I don't know how many attacks you have with the Lightning Claw. I guess you've got 4 or 5 for being Death Company, 2 for, so you've got 8 attacks. So the Lightning Claw changes you from 8, so it's only a 12% increase in damage. because you basically just get one more attack on 8 attacks. So 12% increase on damage versus essentially not having what I'm trying to say, not having the storm shield giving you that 2-up save. Like, I just don't know if I see a lot of value in the second lightning claw. I definitely don't see a lot of value in the second lightning claw on troops. Personally, just because, like, if you actually math it out like that, the second one doesn't actually bring that much damage. I'd rather my troops survive. I guess it's less important in your character because your character's already got a built-in 4-up invulnerable save, but like on Vanguard Veterans, for example, I think the second lightning claw is a bit of a waste. Like, I'd much rather have a storm shield. I know it's more points, but I think it's actually a lot better. Jeff converted up his Primaris one. Okay. I'm extremely annoyed with GW's Flavor of the Month product model at the moment. I don't want to encourage it. I don't need any new releases for a while. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing they're doing with their spamming out of the new models, is they are giving them rules that are insane, right? You know, like, it's definitely... the balance at the moment definitely feels a little bit off, I guess. That's probably the kindest way of saying that the balance is shitty right now. Every new model is coming out with, like, really broken, overpowered rules. I don't think anyone would argue with that analogy. I mean, that's literally just what it is. Do you have any tips for freehanding? I'm trying to write Baal, but I keep screwing it up. If you're trying to write stuff, Spiderwing, you can actually buy pens. People have linked them a few times in the chat. I actually haven't bought any yet because I don't freehand letters or words. But I have seen people have said that, like, there's really fine tipped pens you can buy, like crazy fine tipped, which will actually be better for freehanding text. I mean, I think Reziel might have been one of the people that said that they'd bought these pens before. If someone's got the links to those pens, if they could link them. I have 2 Necron halves from the Indomitus box with only 1 built so far. Do you know what? I traded my Indomitus Necrons. I'm disappointed with the new Kill Team after watching the Tabletop Minions review. Yeah, they changed all the rules in Kill Team. I haven't watched it yet. I'm just super focused on 40k at the moment because I got this tournament coming up. So I figured, well, I actually have 2 tournaments coming up, a team tournament and then a solo tournament. I figured, like, I'm just going to be focused on competitive Blood Angels till then. I don't know how we're going to get on with either of the tournaments because Blood Angels are feeling a little bit underpowered at the moment, but, like, I'll do my best, and I think I'll make a video about, like, the tournament placing and the results and how I did and things I learned and all that when we get round to it. I feel bad for you guys. Blood Angels got next to nothing and Black Templars are getting a massive release. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't feel bad for us, Robert. What goes around comes around. I'm sure at some point in the future, especially with the win rate Blood Angels are seeing right now, right? We're seeing, like, one of the lowest win rates in competitive play. So, like, if that... And I can't actually see that going up, right? Like, I don't think we're in a great place competitively, so... I guess... in some ways, maybe it's a good thing, right? Maybe we'll get back all of our stratagems that we lost, you know, like, because we lost some really cool stratagems. Like, one of them, upon Wings of Fire, I forget the one that gave us the ability to do a 3d6 charge, actually. I forget the name of it now. Was that what Descent of the Angels used to be? The 3d6 charge strat. So I'm sure we'll get back. Are we getting raided? Oh, hello. Welcome to Twitch. Thank you. I don't even know if I'm supposed to get an alert when I get raided, but hello. Thank you for joining me. We are the Blood Angels Commander channel. We just do content 100% usually on Blood Angels and Space Marines. We're just hanging tonight. Complaining more than we normally would, I guess, about the GW release schedule and how it's difficult to keep up, right? Even, like, I'm an adult with a full-time job and I I can't spend as much money as they want to make me spend with all the new model releases they've got going on. So yeah, but yeah, we're also over on YouTube. That's where I do most of, well, when I'm live streaming, all my live streams are on Twitch as well, but yeah, I do a lot of videos over on YouTube. We're trying to get up to 10,000 subscribers over on YouTube. We're going. Yeah, the new orc model is crazy, Anthony. Tony called me out the other night about complaining about that new orc model, but like, he is, I don't know. I am trying really hard not to complain about the state of the Blood Angels Codex. I'm just going to play with it. I'm going to continue playing with it. I will try my best. You guys know that I fight the good fight. Every week I will try and win games with it. But sometimes I think you just got to hold your hands up and say, like, I don't know how I beat this army with the state of our current codex. The game against Admech this week was horrific. I got absolutely, like, I got tabled in turn 3 by Admech. It wasn't even close. And I didn't even think I played particularly badly. But Highland Phoenix makes a good point, right? Like, in the last edition, Blood Angels were kind of garbage at the start of 8th edition. Like, I don't think we were in a good spot. And then they released the Psychic Awakening books. And we had, what was it like? That's when we got Savage Echoes, which changed a lot of things. When we got the Savage Echoes rule, we went from being like, I don't know, we went from being in a difficult position to win games to being able to win like so many games, like when that first book dropped. So maybe if Blood Angels continue to be losing a lot in competitive play, which seems to be the case right now, we will, you know, maybe we'll get like an addendum in one of these campaign books that gives us some new rules, and/or we're still holding out hope for a Primaris Commander Dante, right? At this point, you deserve a limited edition box like we're getting next month. So, I've seen a lot of people talk about this Black Templars box, right? Like, is there a website or something? Or like, how do you guys know about it? Like, I've seen, so there's the Black Templars characters. I've seen 2 of them, right? The champion that just got released this week, but like, where's the leak or where's the information about this box where you're like, because Valorak said the Black Templars were getting like 5 characters, right? Or five new models, or is it 5 new characters? 5 new characters seems excessive. Hey Matthew, thanks for subscribing. I saw your latest list a few days ago, and sure, we have some struggles, but the list looks far more suited to you. Just focus on your strengths and have fun at the tournament. Yeah, I mean, the list that I've got now, and I'm playing Death Guard on Monday night live on the stream. Hey Borak, thank you for linking those pens. I appreciate it. Do you prefer your sergeants to have helmets or no helmets? I kind of hate painting faces. I do it if I have to, like on tech marines and like librarians and stuff. But my sergeants usually get a gold helmet because I'm better at painting helmets, I guess. It's the eyes that always get me. Like Space Marine eyes are nice and big. Like unhelmeted eyes with like an eye pupil. Hey, thank you, Fast Spaztech, for following. Unhelmeted eyes, like actually putting like I guess the pupil and then like the white of the eye, I find that super difficult, right? Like I mean, I've done it on a few characters and it's looked okay, but I've definitely done it on some characters and they kind of look like they're demented or something, because I mean demented, I mean more like insane, because like their eyes just their eyes are just all over the place. So yeah, I really struggle with trying to get those details on the eyes on unhelmeted characters. So yeah, gold always is a good one, right? Like gold helmets is kind of synonymous with Blood Angels. So if you're great at painting faces and mohawks, go for it. You know, go unhelmeted. But if you're not, then cop out and do what I do and give them a gold helmet. Sometimes I might even just do a gold shoulder pad or something. Like if I'm not 100% confident. Well, maybe confidence is not the wrong word. Well, yeah, thank you to whoever raided me. I have literally no idea how to see that. I think that's the first time I've ever been raided. I'm sort of, like I said, I'm sort of newer on Twitch. GW has teased the Black Templars box. Huh, I missed that then. Was that this week, or like when you say teased it, what have they actually shown? Like a picture of a box? It's been leaked in the box we're getting a Marshal, the Emperor's Champion, a Redemptor Dread, 6 Initiates, and 4 Neophytes. Okay. So the Marshal, I guess, is a new model, right? My Redemptor has a golden fist. Oh, that's a cool idea. I've never done that. Have you ever just tried doing the mini plus... Have you ever just tried doing a mini plus sign for the pupil of the eye, John? No, I've always tried to draw like a little bit of white right in the middle of the eye socket, or paint a little bit of white in the middle of the eye socket, I guess, and then from there, like paint like a single little black dot that is the. But yeah, I did it on my Tech Marine and I did it on my Sanguinary Priest, and like I think they were acceptable, but like I don't think. They're definitely not going to win any painting competitions, you know? Also, the Neophytes have shotguns, Primaris shotguns, so that's new. Oh, that sounds cool. I use a cocktail stick to place a black pupil. That is pretty smart. I hadn't thought of that. GW should implement a rule that they get a worse save if they don't have the helmet on. Yeah, I mean... Technically, I feel like in the 41st millennium, with all the grenades and guns and everything going around, it's unlikely that they would have their helmets off for any prolonged period of time, or they would have their helmets off on the battlefield, right? Like they'd have it off when they're like chatting to the men behind the front lines, but they're unlikely to have it off on the actual battlefield, right? I remember back in like 2nd edition where like if you didn't have a helmet, because I guess the Space Marines, it basically like the Space Marines helmets are supposed to have like a filter, I guess, for like gases and stuff. So back in 2nd edition, you had like hallucination grenades and not vortex grenades. Maybe it was definitely hallucination grenades, and I think there was one other like gas grenades that like Space Marines were essentially immune to, but like if you threw a hallucination grenade into a squad of orcs or something, the orc player would just have a very bad day. Oh, the Marshal is the captain. Sorry, I'm not clued up on Black Templars all that much. So it's a unique Black Templar non-named character captain, is that correct? There's a queue to get on the Games Workshop site right now? Why? Because of the Kill Team release? Null Noil and eyes work well? I mean, I guess the problem I would see with Null Noil is the control, right? Like, Null Noil is typically pretty runny, so you'd have to be... I don't know how you could control that very well into the eye socket. I've put all my painting on hold until the new Templar's Codex. Also, my lungs have been on fire after a solid week of airbrushing. You should probably wear a mask, Robert, if you're airbrushing that much. I mean, you must have masks, right? Because of the COVID nonsense. So, I have like a proper spray can mask, and I got it from like B&Q, which is like a hardware store here in the UK, and it costs literally nothing, like maybe £2 or £3. And it's just got a filter on it, so like if you are spraying, I mean you can still smell the paint a little bit, but like I think it definitely helps. It's like really bad to be getting paint into your lungs on a repeated basis. So if your lungs are sore, yeah, please dude, you should be wearing a mask. Going helmetless for Imperial models is the true faith of the Emperor. Forget miracle dice. That is very true, Reziel. The Emperor protects and has such very high-ranking Imperial officers can go without helmets because the Emperor protects, right? That's the joke, or that's the lore that we hear behind it sometimes. I honestly really enjoy painting faces. Fair enough. If you enjoy it and you're good at it, maybe one day I'll enjoy painting faces. I guess today is not that day. How many points total have you painted though, right? Like, if you added up everything you've ever painted, how many points have you painted for any army, I suppose? And how many points did you have to paint before you started enjoying painting faces? That's my question. Because I think I'm coming up to 10,000 points painted at a decent standard. I have a bunch of other stuff painted when I was a kid, and I generally feel none of the models that I painted when I was a kid because they're all horrendously bad. But you know, like, I do have a bunch of stuff painted from then. Greetings from Paris. Thanks for tuning in, Nightingale. Appreciate it. YouTube painting tutorials are your friends. So many great painters to learn from out there. That is very true as well. I think everyone's just buying the Kill Team stuff. I mean, the new Death Corps guys, I think they would be a lot of fun to play and to paint. Like, they are very cool. The cinematic with them was really cool as well. So at least they made that box, that made to order thing, right? So if anyone that wants one is going to be able to get one, I'm happy about that. I just don't think that the boxes need to be so pushed in your face to buy them, right? Like, just give people a little bit more time. If they want to wait a month before they buy them, let people wait a month before they buy them, right? Have you thought about running the tournament list you went over with the one guy with Dante? You know, I don't have the models to do his list, because he's got 2 of those Relic Contemptors with the Volkite cannons. I actually only own 1 Relic Contemptor, and I'm not huge on copying people's lists from online either. Like, I generally never do that. So, but I mean, I did look at his list for a little bit of inspiration, right? Because I guess the Relic Contemptor with the Volkite cannons is hard to argue with at the moment, right? It's a very strong. And we have our, you know, the series we're doing with Mark and Tony, where we're talking and we're doing those tier lists. We have the next tier list video out next week, and in the next tier list video, spoiler I guess, is that we're doing Forge World. I mean, it's kind of obvious because Forge World is kind of all that's left to do at this point, because we've done the tier list for everything else. But so we split Forge World into 2, and next week we're actually talking about those Contemptor Dreads, right? And I think the Contemptor Dreads with the Volkite cannons, they're just very, very cost effective, and I mean, they're not great against something like Custodes, I guess, that have like a really solid invulnerable save, but against most things they are like a pretty high percentage play, I feel like. I like painting faces. I have 7 armies, and I've counted the points I've painted. I haven't counted. Okay, 7 armies is insane, by the way. I actually gave up all my other armies when I started the Blood Angels Commander channel. I just traded everything that I had for other armies for Space Marines and just decided to all in with my Space Marines. Hey, good evening, Adam. How you doing? I think you've been here for a while. I might be a bit tired tonight. Like I said, I've been tired every night since I came back from vacation. I don't know why. Maybe it's just, yeah. Maybe the baby's not sleeping and I'm getting woken up and I don't know about it. Yeah, if you want to promote another YouTube channel, dude, I'm not upset. There's so many good 40k channels out on YouTube. I'm sure people watch more than just my channel, 100%. I mean, I watch a lot of other channels as well, right? Return of the Falchion. Do you know what I could? I'm playing Mortarion on Monday. We could just take a... Well, I'm pretty sure he's taking Mortarion. We could just take the Falchion and run a Tech Marine with Null Zone. A Librarian with Null Zone and see what happens, eh? Just shoot Mortarion off the board in turn 1 or something. That would be interesting. I do like the Falchion, man. I still think it... You know, it's expensive, but I still think it's a fun model to include. You know, I actually double-checked the rules on this tournament. The tournament does actually allow Forge World units, so I don't think my teammates would appreciate me taking the Falchion. I mean, it's cool, but I think it makes you quite one-dimensional. You know, I say that, Rezio, but like, if we keep losing games all the way to this tournament, then maybe we just say, screw it, Blood Angels aren't in the best place right now. Let's just take the super heavy Falchion. And then we did make it cheaper in CP to take it, right? You played against someone that used that BA list and it was pretty deadly? Yeah, I mean, I don't even have any of those Volkite cannons though, right? Like, I did actually look to pick some up, but I mean, they've been out of stock on games on Forge World's website for a while now, it feels like. Oh, I appreciate that, Douglas. Someone had to double down on Blood Angels when we got that 9th edition Codex and it was garbage, right? I always think that this stuff comes around though, right? Like, and it's probably my biggest gripe with Warhammer actually, is like, I just wish that they would just try harder to balance everything. I mean, like, I guess they have the policy of like bringing in new stuff to sell models. And I mean, they are a business, so they do need to sell models, but like, I think that they can probably, you know, like if new models come out, even if they're not the most competitive, as long as they're decent, people will buy them, right? Like a lot of people have big collections, you know, like if a new Blood Angels model came out tomorrow, it wouldn't even matter necessarily if it was the most competitive. I'd probably buy it just because like I have a large collection of Blood Angels and I'm always adding to it, right? So like based on that, I guess the argument is like, would it not be better for the game if they tried harder to balance all the new units rather than just releasing all the new units like grossly overpowered and then trying to balance it later? I don't know. Have we talked about that AdMech game? We haven't really talked about the AdMech game, but go ahead and ask any questions that you like about it and I'll try and give you an answer. It was a pretty rough game. I mean, there was definitely a gamble in there from Gav with him hopefully going first. I feel like if I'd gone first, I had a fighting chance. With him going first, I did not have a chance. But you know, like if you break it down, some of the rules, it's kind of crazy, right? Because he's got like squads that are like 18 points per model, so they're like 1 point less than an assault intercessor, and they can do just as many attacks. They can, you know, they had like ways that they can get like rerolls, hits and wounds. And then when it actually comes to shooting, you know, like when you shoot like your Blade Guard veterans or your assault intercessors, or anything like that, really. Like, they literally do no damage. You know, like, Blade Guard Veterans, what are you getting? Like, 5 Strength 4 Bolt Pistol shots. Well, you hit on 3s, so you end up getting, like, 2 hits or something. You maybe make a wound, and then they save it, right? So you... Best case, you do, like, 1 damage with the Blade Guard Veterans. With, like, his 17-point AdMech units, he's got Pistol 5, so, like, the squad gets, like, 50 shots. And yeah, they're in strength 3, but like, it doesn't matter. It's just like the weight of fire is just kind of insane. But yeah, please ask any questions about AdMech and we'll talk about it. I actually did a bigger win streak without the Falchion, right? Like, the Falchion's win streak was 8 when I retired that list. The other list that was actually an 11-game win streak, so... And that list was purposely made to include no Forge World units, because people kept asking me on the channel, they were like, can you win games without a Forge World tank? Because we don't own a Forge World tank, so we'd like to see you win games without it. So yeah, I guess at the start of 9th, before anybody else had their broken codexes, we actually won quite a lot of games. I mean, I don't even know if their codexes are broken so much so as like ours is just not a strong codex. No one will expect a Blood Angels list with a Falchion in it. I mean, I guess you've got a point, right, Adam? No one will expect a Blood Angels list with a Falchion in it. And when you started watching, you were one of the first for me to push to drop it? Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree with what Highland Phoenix saying like I need to figure out a way to get non-Forge World stuff working for us. And I'm sure there is a way. You know, like, I generally don't like to blame dice rolls or the dice or whatnot, but like in some of the games I lost against Andrew, his dice rolling was insane early game, and sometimes if you roll really well early game, it can like set you up for a win. Like I had like 8 Vanguard veterans with Thunderhammers and all this nonsense charge and use melta-bombs on like I think it was 3 mortifiers, and they were already wounded, and I killed a single mortifier. After the game I went and did the maths on that, because I was like, did I make a wrong play there, or what, you know? Because I was like, I felt like at the time I was like, this is the right play to try and take out these mortifiers. When I actually did the math, it was like there should have only been 1 mortifier left, and it should have been 1 mortifier left by like a long shot or something like that. And like Andrew had like 2 left, and they were almost both on full wound. Well, the second one was almost like it barely even lost a wound. I think it was on 4 out of 5 wounds, whereas it should have just been 1 left. And when he hit me with 7 attacks, or sorry, he wounded me with 7 attacks. So I had to take 7 saves on their storm shields. So if there'd only been 1 left, I would only had to take 3 saves on the storm shields if the dice had been as kind as they were to him. So I think it was actually the right call, but it probably ended up losing me the game just because I was fighting from behind. It was really important that I made those kills and like pushed on. So I don't know. I was trying not, you know, like I wasn't gonna get upset about that or whatnot, and just chalk it down to, okay, really bad roll early game actually hurt me, right? I wish GW would move to adjusting points via an app. I'm coming from Excellent Minis, and they have it. It's a really balanced game. Stagnating with points have been changed every 6 months stinks. I agree with that, Lucas. I wish that they would tweak the points more often. Yeah, and I kind of agree with what Adam's saying as well, that our codex is almost like an 8.5 codex. Like, it's based on what we've seen from these other 9th edition codexes, ours was not a 9th edition codex. Like, our codex removed some of our strongest stuff from 8th edition. All the other factions have like way strong, you know, like if they did lose stuff, sure, but they all have ways that like just make them way stronger than they were in 8th. Sisters of Battle are way stronger, I think, than they were in 8th. Death Guard, way stronger than they were in 8th. Dukari, way stronger. I mean, like, and Admech, I mean, I didn't play Admech much in 8th, but holy damn, like, their weight of fire now is insane. I feel like Gav was rolling so many dice in every encounter that honestly, that like, my strategy and tactics didn't really matter, because my models were just dying, because every single time he got to attack, he was like, well, these guys have pistol 5, or these guys have assault 3, and these guys have, like, the Admech had a thing, right? Like, it was a stratagem for Admech. I'm not fully familiar with Admech, but he just had a stratagem in combat with Admech. He can just add +2 attacks to, like, the group of units fighting or whatnot. I was like, bloody hell, we're supposed to be the Emperor's elite Space Marine Blood Angels. I would like a strat where we can just add +2 attacks to a unit. That sounds, you know, that sounds amazing. And on the Admech side, it actually was amazing. Like, he did so much damage in close combat. I think he used that strat 2 or 3 times, and every time it was just like, oh my god, look at all the damage he's doing. It's like, I would like that. Or something similar, you know? I'm going to be running Thunderhammer, Storm Shields, Terminators, the way to fire at -1 AP, ignoring. Cover is still saving on 2s, Transhuman is irrelevant, carry stun. That is very true, that's buzzing, and I was thinking that I need to get painting more close combat Terminators in the very near future. I actually looked them out already, so I did think that I could drop Vanguard Veterans and pick up a bunch of close combat Terminators, and I do like Terminators now, and you know what, I've not really given them a fair shout since they got made 3 wounds, so, you know, like, I was thinking maybe we could do a bit of Terminators love, but I don't, on the battle reports that I play in the channel, I pretty much don't field anything that is unpainted. Well, yeah, I don't feel anything that's probably got like 3 colors on it, like minimum. So if I can slap 3 colors on a bunch of Terminators, maybe we'll try a game where we drop some Vanguard Veterans and take Terminators instead. But I guess it's important to say that that's probably not going to be in before this tournament in 4 weeks' time, because I got these 2 guys to paint, I've got 3 Inceptors to paint, and I've got the Primaris Chaplain to finish. So that's going to take me 2 or 3 weeks, I guess. So I'm going to do those, and then maybe I'll get to Terminators. But yeah, I hear your point. I actually think a mixed squad of Terminators might be good, you know, where you've got like 3 with Thunderhammers and 3 with Lightning Claws. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Dracula. I appreciate it. Good evening, Mark. How are you? Did you enjoy? You were out at the movies, right? How was your evening? Hope it was good. Chaplain. Do you know what? I bought that limited edition Chaplain Terminator armor and sprayed him black, and that's as far as I've got. So maybe I should finish him along with like a large squad of assault Terminators and give myself some options for the future. I used to run Terminators a lot back when I played, and do you know what? I ran them at the start of 9th, I think, before they even got 3 wounds, and I kind of liked them. So it's probably. It could be about time that we see some Terminators coming back. Terminators are probably quite good with the Sanguinary Priest, right, as well? Even maybe if you're not the Selfless Healer, if you're just taking the Sanguinary Priest as the regular Sanguinary Priest and just using the 6+ Feel No Pain, right? Yeah, I mean, Forge World is on the table if you care about tournaments. That's 100% right. Good evening, Edgelife. Good evening, Mike, the Great Angel. Do you know what? I've not run a Leviathan Dreadnought for a while either. I don't think I've run them since they introduced the fact that they don't have the core keyword. Maybe I ran it once. Like, I don't necessarily dislike Leviathan. Like, Leviathans, I think, are the strongest unit we can put on the table in terms of like raw survivability for 200 points. Like, I don't think we can beat Leviathans. So, and another thing that might be worth considering, it's something that you mentioned before, Highland, is I mean, maybe, you know, like my list runs double Redemptors. Could there be something to be said about running like double Vindicator laser destroyers? You know, and just sit them at the back. What is it, 36 inches on the Vindicators laser destroyers? They are toughness 8. Just sit them at the back. For, you know, maybe screen them with like a squad or two of like assault marines or blade guard veterans or something. And just every turn pump out. I mean, it doesn't do that effective against horde armies, but against other armies like Vindicator laser destroyers are kind of insane with the ability to do the flat 6 damage, right? I always look to win without Forge World. Too much hang on Forge World, pay to win. Good evening, Langmeister. Yeah, I don't know if I feel like Forge World are pay to win, especially at the moment. Like, their stuff is expensive, but like in 9th edition, most of the Forge World stuff is, I say it's priced reasonably competitively. In some cases, I actually think it's a little bit high. Maybe those relic I feel like last edition, what was it? Last edition, it was relic contemptors with twin las cannons, like 2 sets of twin las cannons. That was the thing that everybody ran last edition, and they made that worse, right? I think they maybe increased the cost of doing that as well. I mean, no one runs twin las cannons, it feels like, on Contemptor Dreadnoughts now. So I guess the question is, apart from like the twin Volkites on the Contemptor, which potentially will get changed if that's the only thing people are running, it's going to get changed, right? Is there anything else in Forge World that actually feels really, really strong right now? I'm not sure there is. My Leviathan with the Tech Marine was the best I had today. Elder shot him off in turn 2. Elder do have a good amount of shooting, I guess, or they can have a good amount of shooting. Was it bad rolls or just weight of fire that killed him? I got the Primaris Tech Marine, but I didn't buy the Vindicator laser destroyers. I got the Dawnbreakers for Vanguard Veterans conversions as well. Fair enough. I mean, I don't have a Vindicator laser destroyer. I still think that they're good, though, and I'd probably still like to get one. I kind of stopped buying new models for a little while with Blood Angels, just because, like, my backlog is ridiculous at the moment. I mean, like, you saw it last year. When I made that video about like my pile of shame, like it's only got bigger, I think. And I almost bought that Kill Team box. Like Andrew was like, are you getting the new Kill Team box and do you want to go halves on it? And I was like, yeah, maybe we'll go halves on it. And then like I sort of stepped back and went, actually Andrew, I'm probably just gonna pass, because like I've got so many Blood Angel things that I want to finish. So like, I just don't want to add any more to the pile till I finish a bunch more stuff. I actually want to finally finish a squad of suppressors as well, because like, not that I think suppressors are super brilliant or competitive, but like I just want to have the option, because Suppressors seem to get ignored every edition, right? Well, they didn't get ignored this edition, actually. They went from 6 autocannon shots up to 9. And they are only 100 points. So I guess if you had 100 points at the end of your list, 3 suppressors is an okay option. So yeah, I had been painting them in Death Company colors, and I kind of had like a really cool scheme for them. So I actually just really want to finish these 3 suppressors at some point in the near future. So it was like, I just don't want to give myself more exciting projects like those new Death Corps of Krieg, so that I actually finish the projects that maybe give me some options in the future, right? The Sicarian's alright. I like the 3 damage autocannon on the main battle tank. I mean, yeah, I guess you could bring Volkite Contemptors on a Land Raider Achilles. The Achilles is very costly. Actually, it's costly when you put the multi-meltas on it. I guess with the Volkites, it's probably only about 300 points. I mean, I say only 300 points. I guess it's still costly, but it definitely lets your enemy know what you're doing, right? Like, you're transporting a bunch of Firstborn Marines while dishing out a ton of fire with 16 wounds and an invulnerable save. I mean, and toughness 8, I guess. So you're pretty difficult to wound. I'm stupid. I just noticed that my left pot of Typhus Corrosion open overnight. Oh geez. Okay, Spiderwing, that does sound a little bit stupid. I hate it when you leave something overnight. It's like the worst feeling ever, right? Especially when you're like dead set to get the next session going or something, and it's like, oh my god, I left this open. Would a squad of 5 Inceptors, 2 Plasmas and 3 Bolters be any good? You can't mix the loadout on the Inceptors, unfortunately, Anthony. I did think about that as well, because Plasmas are like super expensive at the moment, but yeah, if you read the small print, it's like the squad either has full Plasma or full Inceptor. Full Plasma or full Bolter. At the moment I'm running Bolters just for literally because of the points costs. Hey fellow angels, I think a Sicarian Arcus is good. Might be the best no line of sight option. I was surprised you didn't introduce it in the dedicated video, Commander. We're gonna cover the Sicarian Arcus in the next tier list video, Fran. I'm not sure how to say your name, sorry. Francesco? If I said it wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, in the next tier list video, we're looking at Forge World, Francesco. So, and we definitely cover the Arcus, I can tell you that, because we've already filmed that video. And that's the video that's probably going to be coming out this Friday. So yeah, we've covered it. It is an interesting no line of sight option, and I think we cover some other options for no line of sight, or indirect fire, I guess is what it's called. We definitely cover that next Friday. So yeah, tune into the channel next Friday, and we'll talk about it, and we'll give it a ranking from S through to D. I mean, a lot of the Forge World units cost 1 CP for Martial Legacy. It's kind of just something you have to deal with. Unless you're absolutely spamming Forge World units, I think the 1 CP tax is probably fair, and like in some ways it probably helps to just balance. Anything that in Forge World is a little bit too strong, you'd have to pay multiple CP to bring loads of them, so I think it's fine. Plasma Inceptors are powerful, but the points increase did rein them in properly. The Bolt Inceptors are truly great alternative as long as you use them well. Yeah, good evening, Akrail. I think I agree with that 100%. The one thing that I need to do more often, and one of the reasons I include the Bolter Inceptors, is because if I'm desperate to do an action You can bring in the bolter inceptors and you can still fire and you can still do the action. I think it's a stratagem called Uncompromising Fire, which means you can still arrive from deep strike, you can perform an action and still shoot. And I actually think that is a very good stratagem in a situation where there's a space for them to come down and be able to still do their damage and perform a required action for point scoring. That's my plan behind them, and like I kind of always forget to do the damn action, or it does cost 2 CP to do the action, so it's not inconsequential, I guess, the number of command points, you know? So I guess you just have to think about that when you're going to do it. Do you know what? The Achilles is a great tank, I think. It's been out of stock probably since the beginning of 9th edition on the UK version of Forge World. But I think if it hadn't been out of stock, I'd have probably ordered one, because I mean, I guess it's right up there in terms of like the most survivable thing that we can have as a Blood Angel, and gives you a great base of fire, and there's a lot you could put inside it, right? Like you could have company veterans inside it, you could put a company champion, anything that hey Paul, thanks for subscribing. Anything that we don't have a jump pack for, but you'd want to get across the board quickly and safely. I guess that would be your the main goal of your Achilles, or that's what the Achilles could do really well. Tempted by a Thunderfire cannon instead of an actual Tech Marine for a Tech Marine gunner, heals and tremor shells, and some 2+ anti-horde blobs bolter shots for your 3 dead list. Do you know what? I did think about that. I think it was you that mentioned it, Highland. The only problem is that the Thunderfire cannon moves like 3 inches, right? So you basically limit one of your dreads to be very immobile or something. I mean, I guess you could just move away and let the Thunderfire cannon die at some point once the battle gets going a bit, I suppose. Yeah, I'm not going to be running that 3 dreads list though. I think I guess I'm just kind of off it. I think there's a few reasons maybe that I'm off of it, but I think I'm going to continue to have 2 dreadnoughts, and I'm going to go back to a place where like most of the rest of the army is infantry, and I guess infantry including some attack bikes, right? I think that's what was working best. I mean, okay, so we still have the whirlwind, sure, but like I think I'm playing Death Guard on Monday. I assume that he's bringing probably the same sort of thing he brought last time, which is like 3 Plague Burst Crawlers and 2 Demon Princes and Mortarion and like 3 Bloat Drones. There wasn't a whole heap of other stuff in that list at that point, right? That was most of the list. But I assume that he'll be bringing something like that, because he beat me. I can't actually remember how many points he beat me by, but he beat me reasonably comfortably, I guess. I actually had a lot of points to models survive that game though, right? Like I actually had more points to like he only had Mortarion left, and I had still had like 700 points of models on the board. The issue I didn't... Mortarion's ability to turn off rerolls makes killing him in melee combat very scary, I guess. So scary that I probably ran away from him, and maybe that cost me that game. So I think probably if you have Null Zone, you kill him, but that list that I tried that time didn't have Null Zone. I just had a Lieutenant with reroll 1s, and the Lieutenant basically did nothing. So yeah, we're back to having a Lieutenant, we're back to having a Librarian with a jump pack and Null Zone. So maybe that just gives me a little bit of threat, where it's like if Mortarion does want to jump straight in early in the game, there's a very good chance that we could get a Null Zone off, and then we can just outrightly kill him. Because, I mean, without his invulnerable save, he'll be so much easier to kill, right? How many Inceptors are people running? I have 3 in box and just looking for ideas. I mean, 3 is fine, Inceptor wise. I mean, it depends on. Some people run like 5. 5 plasma Inceptors for 300 points, I guess. So you can make 3 Inceptors work, or you can probably make 5 of them work. It just depends on how you're running them and what you want to achieve with them, I suppose, right? What's my opinion on drop pods? Drop pods are great for flesh tearers. I think they're okay for blood angels, but like, I think if you're going to do a drop pod, you have, like, for us, they're just better if you put a melee-based unit in them, right? So like, what melee-based unit would you put in a drop pod, I guess? Like, I guess the thing that springs to me is like some sort of like company veterans or vanguard veterans, and then you join them with like a death company doing a Forlorn Fury. I mean, like, you'd probably actually get the most damage. I mean, I suppose there's nothing to say you couldn't run 2 death companies, one in a drop pod, one with Forlorn Fury. It just feels like a crazy big commitment, and if it doesn't pay off, then you're in a tough position, right? Librarian with a jump pack is a must. There's so much utility in this model, opening up a lot of situational plays. Yeah, I mean, that's what my new list has, is the Librarian with a jump pack and Null Zone. And I've used that successfully against Death Guard before, actually. I Null Zoned a squad of, like, I think it was Blightlord Terminators, and then I just erased them with the Chaplain on the bike and some multi-meltifier. So we've kind of gone back to trying that, I guess. The list I had 11 wins in a row did have Null Zone in it, and you know what? I think out of those 11 games, I only actually did like a successful Null Zone elimination on like 3 things. So, you know, like, that was the reason I dropped Null Zone, because I was like, it doesn't always, you know, it feels like it is only situational in what, like 1 out of every 3 games, but when you need it, it's such a strong tool to have, right? And I think that's possibly what I didn't see when I was dropping it. I was like, this is a very strong tool to be dropping. And yeah, it doesn't always come off, or it doesn't always get used, but like, things don't always need to be used to be very effective or have a place in a list, right? Do drop pods of stats or other abilities. I mean, they got toughness 6 and they got 8 wounds, and I think you can spend 5 points to put a Stormbolter on them, but like, they're basically like a speed bump on the map, I guess. Like, the enemy's going to want to kill them because they're likely to be like holding them, like, you drop them down on an objective, right? So that they're legit. The enemy wants to kill them because they're like holding an objective and they're giving you points and they're denying points from the enemy. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Island. I don't hate the idea of taking a Tech Marine with a Thunderfire cannon to work with the Redemptors, but I mean, you've said it a few times as well, actually. Like, I really wanted my Redemptors to get centerboard in that game against AdMech, right? The Redemptors, they were the things that survived the most firepower. Like, I wanted to just push them into the middle of the board. It just didn't quite happen in that game, and I think that's the problem with taking 3 Redemptors, is so I think this time we basically have 5 Blade Guard veterans and the Redemptors and the Priest, and the idea is that, like, we just get those things centerboard as quick as possible. We open up firing lanes or firing solutions. We have the Blade Guard veterans who are quite strong, and able to be transhumaned, and also be getting a feel no pain from the priest. Because sometimes I'm never sure where to put my priest, right? Because like my priest doesn't necessarily like sometimes I end up hiding my priest and I'm hiding the priest and I'm not getting the rerolls on my units. So I don't think I'm doing that this time. I think the priest is just with the Blade Guard veterans. If the enemy has snipers, then like what I'm painting right now is 2 company veterans, right, with storm shields. So if the enemy has snipers, I guess the company veterans are with them as well. If the enemy does not have snipers, then the company veterans will go into like tactical reserve, and they'll come in and they'll perform an action for secondaries, right? Totally hypothetical question. How do you remove super glue for your finger? What you do is you literally bite the glue, like with your teeth, and you pull. And sometimes that works. Sometimes it takes the top layer of skin off with it. It's a tough one. I had one time when I was doing a Forge World Dreadnought that I ended up with so much glue on my fingers that I started doing that, like just trying to bite the glue and then rip it off my fingers, that like basically I ripped off so much skin that like my fingers were bleeding, and then I had to put like plasters on like 3 of my fingers. But if you haven't got heaps on, you can usually just bite it and then sort of like, it's a weird feeling, but yeah, I guess the only thing is if you are going to do that and you're going to bite the super glue off, pro tip is don't swallow the bit you've bit off, just spit it out into the toilet or something. But no, I've had super glue in my fingers so many times in this hobby over the years. Good evening, Maverick. How you doing? Fingernail clippers work for super glue on the fingers as well? Yeah, that's a good point. That would probably work. Yeah, I mean, the other option is it can just wear off on its own. Yeah, I mean, it takes like 2 or 3 days, right? Every time you wash your hands, a little bit will come off, I guess. I mean, human bodies do shed skin over time, so you will. It's not the end of the world, as long as your fingers aren't stuck together. Hot water immediately. But yeah, I think if you're doing some of those Forge World models, you kind of are resigned to that. Some of them will end you with a ton of super glue on your fingers, and you don't have a choice about it. So I understand the 2 Redemptors are followed around by a Tech Marine, a Primaris, or a Firstborn. I mean, when I was doing it with the 3 Redemptors, sorry I missed your question, was I was trying it with the Primaris, and the reason that I was trying it with the Primaris is probably twofold, in that, like, he's only 10 points more, right? And what you actually get for the 10 points is pretty decent, right? Like, you get an extra wound, you get a better bolter, you get additional close combat attacks, and the Primaris one works well with Quake bolts, right? Because I mean, technically they can both work with Quake bolts, but the advantage of the Primaris one is his weapon, his bolter is an assault bolter, which means he can advance to keep up with the the Dreadnoughts. You know, the Dreadnoughts move 8, the Tempmarine only moves 6. So arguably, unless you deploy really smartly, after 1 or 2 turns, if the Dreadnoughts are trying to get forward, the Tempmarine's going to fall out of range. So the Primaris one works better because you can advance him and still shoot his bolter at maximum range of 24 inches and use Quake bolts, I think. So that's what I was trying, and I kind of liked it, honestly. I think the Firstborn one is fine, but I guess like you just have to give up some of his shooting, I guess, if you want him to advance and keep up with the Dreads. And yeah, the fact that the Primaris one is just better in close combat, I mean, it's not a whole lot better, but he feels like for 80 points, it definitely feels like the points spent on the Primaris one are actually really worth it. And the other thing that's really good is upgrading him to the Master of the Forge, right? So that he heals a flat 3 damage, you don't have to roll the dice. And to do that, it costs 20 points. So that would probably be my recommendation. Good evening, Girl Painting, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, Reziel's right, you get access to Primaris keywords, which gives you transhuman. If you really need the Tempmarine to survive, and like, the enemy are going to try and kill the Tempmarine, right? So you're going to want him to survive, so being able to get transhuman. I always forget that the Primaris gives you the access to the keywords, right? I never use that when it actually comes down to the heat of battle, but it's a very good point, like a really good point, because transhuman can definitely be the difference between surviving and dying in some situations. Yeah, I mean, some people want to bring infantry, but I think the Dreadnought meta is actually okay. Like, in the games that I had where the Dreadnoughts were all alive and actually got to shoot first, like, I actually thought it was pretty strong, because you've got one Dreadnought hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, you got one Dreadnought hitting on 3s, rerolling everything. So when you actually math those out, that first Dreadnought's like a 97% chance to hit, that second Dreadnought's an 88% chance to hit, and then your third Dreadnought rerolling 1s is like a 77, so like, having 3 Dreadnoughts combined like that, it's actually pretty strong in terms of just like actual actual damage output, and the math from the hit rolls is actually kind of crazy. I think it's generally very good. But like, I guess we are in a position where like a lot of people prefer to take infantry, or we take more infantry than vehicles, but like my list's running 2 Redemptors. I think Redemptors are very, very effective for the points costs. I mean, I guess Relic Contemptors are maybe slightly better, but I don't own the right weapon options for the Relic Contemptors. And they do cost you 2 CP if you wanted to take 2 of them, I guess, right? Yeah, this is a company veteran, so this is a conversion, I guess, because there is no such box for company veterans. But yeah, I'm doing some company veterans. I need them for my tournament list. And the tournament's like 4 weeks from now. So these guys are 2 of the last 6 models I need to get painted for this tournament, pretty much. How would you play an apothecary? Well, I mean, how I'm playing my Sanguinary Priest, and he's kind of the same as the apothecary, is hang out with a really strong melee unit. Ideally hang out where you're protected by Lookout Sir. So like, how I'm doing it is a 5-man squad of Blade Guard veterans. He's just going to hang out right in the middle of them. It's going to be very difficult for the enemy to ever shoot him and or charge him. and we're going to give all those Blade Guard veterans their 6+ shrug, and ideally we may even use him to do some resurrections on those Blade Guard veterans as well. Just depends. Depends if you need it, and depends how the map plays out, right? Tech Marine doesn't get lookout, sir? Yeah, I mean... What do you mean by Tech Marine doesn't get lookout, sir? I mean, if he's next to a squad of 5 guys, or if he's next to a Dreadnought, he'll be protected from lookout, sir. But, I mean... Yeah, I mean, like, you can't shoot something that's defended by lookout, sir? I'm confused by what you mean, Rezio. I really like Gatling Redemptors against Orcs now, much less random than Plasmas. Yeah, I mean, that's maybe a good point. Maybe like I usually run the small Gatling cannon on the arm that can have the flamer. I have that on both my Redemptors that I run in my list. But I just like the versatility of the plasma, and if you were going to a tournament and you don't know who you're going to be up against, I'm probably just taking the plasmas over the larger Gatling cannons, just because plasmas will give you versatility, and the flat 3 damage on those plasmas at -4 is actually really nice. Like, there's a lot of enemy vehicles that just, like, when you shoot them with a plasma, if you make the wound roll, it's just like, oh, it's -4, you don't get to save. And in tournament play, there's something to be said about picking options that just remove the enemy saves completely, because if you're trying to lower the number of random factors in the game, right, then using something that completely removes a save, you know, like if I give you the option to saves on 5s or 6s or something, as opposed to no save, it just removes like one element of RNG from the play, I guess, right? I own 2 Redemptors, still thinking about painting them. Nice. Well, definitely magnetize the main arms is my advice if you own 2 Redemptors, because I actually own 3, and the reason that I owned 3 was that I didn't magnetize the first one, and it definitely came back to haunt me. So yeah, I definitely suggest you use magnets for the main arms. Otherwise you'll get frustrated and you'll be like, I really should have used magnets. I always, you know, we have one guy in our chat, Pedroig, who whenever you say anything about weapon options, he just replies like, magnets. And it can be a little bit annoying, but he's also so right. He's just so right. Tempted to dust off the chapter champion. I am not tempted right now, because I've gone back to my list that's already got 4 characters. I'm not going to play a 5-character list. I tried that before, and I actually think 5 characters is I don't think I'd ever endorse a 5-character list. Our characters are too expensive. So even though the chapter champion is very cheap, I just don't endorse 5-character lists. So I'm going to be playing a 4-character list, which is what? Sanguinary Priest, Chaplain on a bike, Captain on a bike, and Librarian with a jump pack. It's been hard. I really like the Librarian and Terminator armor. Like, I love Terminator armor on the Librarian. I like the extra wound it gives. I like that just makes him a little bit more survival in combat, but I think I need the mobility of the jump pack, so we finally buckled and gone back for the Librarian with the jump pack. You're most likely going to wound on 4s anyway, with the snake bites. You only wound on 4s against the snake bites if you hit them with less than toughness 8, right? So like the plasma cannon will still wound them on 3s, I think. Oh, Tech Marine does get lookout, sir. Yeah, you confused me there. Sorry, I thought you said doesn't get lookout, sir. You definitely confused me. Should I play an apothecary, a primarist, captain, lieutenant, or a chaplain? Yeah, you need to give more context than that, Jace. Did you join the Discord yet, Jace? That's the question, I guess. Because if you didn't, you should totally join, because there is an army room channel in Discord, and people will be happy to answer questions about lists, and or you can submit your list to be reviewed on the live stream. You know, we do go live every Sunday to talk about community submitted army lists, so that happens every week. So if you're not sure about something, you could submit a list, and you could write in the list, you know, your questions, and we can go over them on the stream. And the cool thing about going over the lists on the stream is people from the chat always come in with really good ideas and helpful suggestions as well. My Blood Angels Codex arrived today. Yay, welcome, Papa Sayak. Nice to hear it. By the way, you do not have to even magnetize the Redemptor arm. The weapon clips in easily. Yeah, I've seen some people do that. I actually have that done on one of them, but I always feel like the magnets just make it feel a little bit more solid. Maybe that's just me being pernigative though. Hello Commander, how are you today? I'm doing well, man. Kind of tired tonight, but apart from that, I'm pretty well. I did a bunch of edge highlighting earlier today on a chaplain on a bike, and I'm putting it off tonight and just putting some colour on these champions. But yeah, overall doing well. This was a nice day today here. We enjoy the summer while we can before it disappears here in Scotland. Summer generally doesn't last very long. So yeah, I'm doing well, thanks for asking. The Flesh Tears Alpha Strike list has a win from going second. Congrats, Zacharias. Tell us, how did you win going second with your Alpha Strike list? Is that the first time that list has won going second, or hadn't you really not played it much before? And was it the exact same list that you sent me, or did you make any changes? I mean, that's Captain on a Bike, Chaplain in Terminator Armor, and Librarian Dread it's pretty strong 3 characters, right? That was the first win with the changes you suggested against Necron. Oh, congrats. Oh, everyone's coming out with the kind comments just now. Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Zacharias. And won a game against Mortarion as Plague Boys in a pretty decent 3,000 point game. 27 points to us, 18 points. I have not played 3,000 points. I don't think since like 7th edition at this point. Wow. I don't know why. I mean, I could easily field 3,000 points. I guess I've just not played 3,000 points in a long time now. Maybe we need to do that at some point. Is the board size for a 3,000 point army the same as the 2,000 point army? Right, what did I just paint? Okay. We usually use 4 boards instead of 3. Okay. What's your opinion on the upcoming Warhammer Imperium magazine? If you want a lot of the those Imperium magazines were great the first time round. Last time round it was called Conquest, right? And there were some great deals to be had in that Conquest magazine. For example, I think you got like Firstborn attack bikes for about, I think it was like the price of one edition, right? So you got like an attack bike for $7.99, and the attack bikes are normally a lot more than $7.99. I actually don't know what they retail for on the official site. Let me check. Oh, GamesWorkshop.com has a queue on it right now. Okay. I can't check. Someone in chat can maybe tell me how much an attack bike retails for. But yeah, so you got attack bikes for like $7.99 with the magazine. You also got some rare named, or some unique character. I think it was a unique Primaris Lieutenant, was it? So like, the issue is you're going to get like 4 different factions worth of troops, right? If you have time and the money to deal with 4 different factions worth of troops, because I think you get, last time you got Marines and Death Guard only. Now this time, I didn't actually look into it this time too heavily because I'd already made my commitment to just do Blood Angels for a little while. But I think that if you just want a lot of stuff, then in terms of raw money spend, you get great value with the magazine. You definitely get, you get better value from that magazine than you would like picking up the models individually. You just can't choose what you get, right? I guess that counteracts the value a little bit. But another thing to be said with that magazine is it also opened up like a ton of options on eBay, right? Because like some people will subscribe to the magazine and they maybe don't want all the different things. So like, for example, I definitely picked up some Firstborn bikers, how I made my captain on a bike and stuff. I picked up the Firstborn bikers on eBay super cheap. I picked up some incursors on eBay, I think super cheap as well, just because they're in those blue sprues and they're like the monopost kits. But like, if you don't care about that, then you can get some great value. Attack bikes are somewhere near $30 US. I bought a lot of Warhammer and 50 quid in April and I've started playing ever since. Well, welcome, Jace. I'm sure I've seen you at least in one stream before, but we are here every week doing Blood Angels content, so if that's something you're interested in, consider subscribing. And yeah, we'd be more than happy to look over your list if you need help on where you need to go next or what you need to buy. I mean, when people submit lists to me for the stream, quite often people write a comment or two saying like, hey, I've been thinking about buying this next, how do you think that would fit in, or whatever really. But yeah, so feel free to submit something to me and we'll look at it. Attack bikes are £20, yeah, so if you buy the magazine, you basically get an attack bike for almost a third of the cost. You'll get some individual characters as well for a third of the cost. I guess the stuff you get, if you don't really need it, you can probably eBay it. So the one big disadvantage I just said, where you get stuff for all 4 factions that you maybe don't care about, you can always go to eBay and you can just, because people obviously do buy stuff from eBay, because like last year it was literally me picking up other people's unwanted conquest stuff to make some custom conversions and characters and stuff. Aren't we all just blue underneath with a splash of red on top anyway? So, you do not know how much it hurts me to hear you say those words, Adam. Like, That legitimately hurts. Can't get the magazine in the US anymore, so the cost is less relevant until you start looking at buying and selling on the secondary market. Yeah, well, I mean, if the I guess you just have to keep a lookout each week, because there was definitely, like, I got some great deals. Like, I think I got the squad of 5 incursors for like £12 here. So a box of incursors on the GW site is like £40. Sure, you get 10 of them. So I got 5 of them for £12, which is like, it's about 40% off, and that was from eBay. And obviously the guy probably had to post them to me and stuff, so I guess it just shows that people will subscribe to the magazine without wanting everything. So if you're smart each week and you check eBay and stuff diligently, you can definitely find some deals. I always say to people anyway to check eBay, because people always put stuff like, you know how GW are releasing these new dice sets for every faction at the moment, and these dice sets are kind of insane, right? Like, you're £20 for some dice, but if you do buy those dice sets and you have one like 6 months down the line, I've seen those dice sets go for crazy money on eBay, right? Like £50 for a set of the faction specific dice. But at the same time, I've also seen them go for like no money, you know? Because I managed to pick up a set of faction specific Blood Angels dice in like a metal Blood Angels tin that has like a Death Company logo on the front of it. And I managed to find that on eBay for like $5. But at the same time, I've seen it go on eBay for like $50. So I guess there's just something to be said about keeping an eye on eBay when some of these releases are happening, or when some of the magazine issues have been sent out, so people that aren't so interested, you can maybe snag yourself a deal or something. Remember, guys, to look out for the Imperium magazine when it hits the shelves in the UK. Which Primaris Lieutenant is it? Is it a brand new Primaris Lieutenant? Thanks for stopping by, Francesco. Appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, I mean, my last big collection trade was just with the people that are doing the Plastic Crackheads channel, you know? So I knew them in real life, and they wanted stuff that, well, they all had Marine stuff they didn't want, and I had stuff for their factions that I guess they were happy to trade, so. But yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow. I think we're going to be at the normal time tomorrow. We'll see, doing the Army List show. It might be a little bit later. I haven't actually spoke to the wife, and she's the one that decides when I'm free. So keep an eye out for tomorrow, and we'll definitely have the Army List show going out at some point tomorrow, that's for sure. And then yeah, Monday night I think is going to be a game against Death Guard. I am unsure yet if he's bringing Mortarion and the same list as last week. I feel like it might be. Oh, it's the standard one with the Neo Volkite pistol and the sword. Yeah, I mean, okay. I guess if... Oh, that's interesting actually, because he can be used as a Blade Guard veteran sergeant, can't he? So I guess like if you well, I will probably get Colin's list from him tomorrow night, and then I'll be playing it on Monday night. So whenever I get it, I'll post it up in the members room on Discord. And yeah, I mean, if it is the same list as he played last time, the issue that I had last time was he managed to consolidate into my Sanguinary Guard with Mortarion, and that really, really hurt me because I was getting consolidated into. I didn't get the bonus attacks, and it also meant I wasn't free to make a charge. So at the time I didn't really think about it. I just played Angel's sorry, I played up on Wings of Fire and got my Sanguinary Guard out, right? Like, maybe what a better play would have been to leave the Sanguinary Guard in combat with Mortarion and throw some other character into the combat, and then Angel sacrifice other characters so that, like, the Sanguinary Guard could still do all their damage. But, I mean, it was a pretty big misplay from me. Like, he should have never been able to... should have never been in a situation where he could consolidate into the Sanguinary Guard, because that just hurt me so much, not getting their bonus attacks from... And the Red Thirst rule and stuff like that. Like, I was gonna need every advantage I could get if I was gonna kill Mortarion in close combat, and I literally had none of my advantages. Legend says once you collect every Primaris Lieutenant, okay. I mean, there's a lot of them, right? I'm tempted, now that you've mentioned it though, I'm tempted, because I have 7 Blade Guard veterans, and I've got one of them with that pistol. And I was actually thinking, like, would it be nice just to have the ability to make 2 squads of 4 or something, or a squad of 5 and a squad of 3. So to do that, I would need 1 more Blade Guard veterans. But then I was thinking to myself, like, don't really want to buy a box for a single Blade Guard veteran, right? So maybe if I can... Do you know what? Worst case, I'll check eBay now that you mentioned it, because people will definitely be selling that Primar. Do you know what? They may actually try and oversell them, though. Some people might mark them up to try and sell them for more than... Is the first issue actually going to be $8.99? Because last time round, the first issue was like a bonus price of $1.99, right? You said it was the 25th. Is it the 25th of this month? '25th of August. Well, see, the last time I played against Mortarion with that list is I didn't have Null Zone. And I think Null Zone makes... If you get Null Zone off, Mortarion suddenly becomes a lot weaker against, like, Sanguinary Guard and stuff, right? Because he's only got 3+ saves, so... I'll have the Blood Chalice, so if I get my Sanguinary Guard Blood Chaliced, then you're essentially saying that, like, Mortarion gets no save against the swords, and he only saves against 6s on the axes. And I usually have about 7 or 8 Sanguinary Guard. So it'd be 5 attacks each. So you're talking like 35 attacks. Hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, because... Oh, well, we wouldn't actually get to re-roll our 1s, right? Because Mortarion's got that aura. So, just hitting on 2s, 35 attacks, gives us what? About 30 hits, maybe 28 hits or something, and then wounding on 4s, so about 14 wounds. But like, 14 wounds is not going to kill him, but if it's going to throw him straight onto his Feel No Pain, it's going to do a significant amount of his health. Bear in mind the fact that we could have maybe shot him a couple of times before then. So, we'll see, I guess. Part of it's going to just come down to the Null Zone, right? But I think just having that Null Zone may also make him think twice. You know, like, because it's like, well, if you charge in here, I'm just going to Null Zone you and I can kill you. So is he gonna go ham and charge in? I mean, he could. Something to consider anyway. Like I said, my dice rolls haven't been great the last few weeks. It's been tough games anyway, and I don't generally complain about the dice rolls. But like when I'm watching the dice roll and like I'm seeing Andrew make ridiculous save after ridiculous save, or in the game against Gav, I guess, he did a ton of damage. When you come up against that, as much as I don't complain at the time, I do sort of mentally note that and be like, right, I don't know if I played that play so badly in that the enemy just made a ridiculous amount of saves just now or something, you know? Like, you do have to think about that, and like, not every game you're going to come up against is going to have someone do ridiculous saves. The first issue is going to be cheaper. I don't know the exact price. Last time the first issue was $1.99. If that's the case, man, yeah, I mean that's one thing you can definitely do is rocket the. I mean that's probably why I've brought the librarian with the jump pack back over the one with Terminator armor, right? Gives me that mobile null zone, which is maybe going to be something that needs to be respected, I guess, because if the null zone goes off, then I mean I guess even the heavy plasma cannons could do a shitload of damage if there's no invulnerable saves, right? Yeah, I mean, I actually think I'm going to be deep striking less in this next list, like almost to a point where like, so I'm going to be deep striking some Inceptors, I think, but that might be it. You know, I think I've been just putting things into Deep Strike without thinking about it, honestly, because I've been doing it for so long. And like when it was working, you know, you just keep doing it because it's like, oh well, that works, putting those units in Deep Strike. But when it's not working, excuse me, that's when you have to think about it. And I think that's where I am right now, where like putting the Vanguard Veterans of the Death Company in that list that I was running into Deep Strike, like they weren't really doing much for me. They arrive from Deep Strike, they charge a unit, they maybe kill it, and then they die. Whereas like I think I'd rather have them on the board and get more options to play around them. And you know, who knows? We're gonna have to try a few different tactics. We only have like four more live games till I go to this tournament, so we're gonna have to try a few different things. So we're probably not gonna Deep Strike much at all in this next game that I play. In fairness, John, you've had some really bad luck with the dice in the last 2-3 games, with yours being unlucky and your opponents being excellent. You know, like I did feel a little bit like that, Adam, but like I try not, you know, I try to, if the dice are against you, the dice are against you, right? Like you should still, I guess you'd still be endeavouring to make the correct plays or the right decisions. And yeah, I'm not, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if the dice are against you, they're against you, but I don't complain about it at the time, just try and get on with the game and make the best of what we've got, and the dice will not be against you forever, I guess is the important thing, right? Like, you can have a couple of bad games with the dice against you, but like, generally it'll average out, so... I'm going to call it a day in like 5 minutes, guys. I am very tired tonight for some reason, so we made a decent bit of progress on these two veterans, I think. It's been nice to stream, and it's, you know, thank you for hanging out for the whole stream, guys. It's I feel like obviously I was away last week, so didn't get to stream quite as much, and the week before that I was really busy trying to film a video or two extra so that I had something to put out while I was away. But I have been missing our live hangouts and chats. So hopefully we can get back to doing them a little bit more regularly. That would be nice. And yeah, I mean, for the guy that was asking earlier, will we paint some Death Company? Yes, we will get to that after, you know, we'll definitely paint a Death Company guy or two, and I think we'll paint some Terminators, honestly. Some like assault Terminators. Because I think I haven't really run too many sets of assault Terminators, but I have seen other people running them, and I like Terminators. I kind of had them working in a Land Raider at the start of 8th. Just finished up my group of Blade Guard veterans. Congrats, Hallie. Thank you, Evan. That's very kind of you to say. I thought Colin and Andrew were your teammates, John. Aren't they supposed to kind of help get you stronger? No brainstorm sessions with them. I don't know if they are my teammates. I mean, I've had a couple of chats with Andrew, because Andrew just said to me like he thought that my list was strong. But I think you know, I was the one that designed the list that did the what was ever it was, you know, the Falchion list that did like the 8 games wins in a row, and I was the one that designed the list that did the 11 games in a row, and like those lists didn't, you know, like I didn't just come up with those lists all of a sudden one day. Like I did lose a lot of games to get to a point where like if we rewind like let's say 6 weeks right before Chapter Approved came out, I was actually saying to Andrew like, you actually need to start beating me in some games, because I don't want to go to a tournament where all my practice for the last, you know, whatever 6 months has just been wins. Like I've just beaten you, Colin and Brett, over and over and over, because you don't analyze things, you don't think critically, you don't. And yeah, I mean, it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit hard to not get a little bit demoralized when it's like, oh shit, I've lost 7 games in a row. But so I mean, I think, and like Adam said, right, so Adam thought my dice rolls in the last 3 games had been pretty harsh. So with a little bit of luck in some of those games, you could probably say like if I'd made some critical save, like look at the game against Admech. I had 10 3-up saves to make, and I failed 8 of them. On another day, you pass plenty, right? And then I had my feel no pain after that. So like I lost my captain because I had to make 10 3-up saves and I failed 8. Like on another day, you don't fail 8 3-up saves out of 10. So, you know, try and just shrug off, hey, that was some shitty luck and stuff. But yeah, I think it's fine. You know, there's a month to the tournament, so I got 4 more games to figure things out, and like I'm sure I will get back to winning ways. And I think it has been good to lose some games before I go to the tournament, right? Because otherwise I just go to the tournament thinking my list is very, very strong. I don't know about any weaknesses. I think anyway. But yeah, maybe we'll see how we get on in the next couple of games, I guess. And then we'll decide if we're gonna have to do some sort of Blood Angels intervention. I mean, the intervention is literally gonna be put the Relic Falchion back on the table, right? Like that would be one way that we get back to winning ways, because people don't know how to deal with the Falchion. Dare you to add a chaplain with assault terminators? I mean, maybe when we go to paint some assault terminators, we'll paint a chaplain too. That wouldn't be a problem, I guess. Alright guys, it is just coming up to midnight. Thank you so much for watching. Hushed House, Turn of the Falchion. Yeah, maybe. It is tempting and it is a fun thing to run. And do you know what? When I ran it before, I didn't have a Primaris Tech Marine, whereas now I do. So maybe, and it costs 1 CB less. So I suppose you could run the Primaris Tech Marine with Quake Bolts and it would be the exact same CB cost as you had before. So, I mean, there's that, right? But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Keep an eye on the channel for the live stream to talk about army lists, and then yeah, Death Guard on Monday night. And yeah, I get that bringing the falchion back is do you know what? I feel like I was going to say, does it reek of desperation? I don't know if it reeks of desperation, right? Because it did win a lot of games in a row, and like some armies just do not deal with it at all, right? Like as a toughness 8 tank with 26 wounds and a 2+ save, some armies, you know, like against the Admech, like he just probably isn't wounding it all that often, and if he is wounding it, I'm on a 2+ save and I got 26 wounds and I can repair 15 wounds to it. So and the firepower it brings, like we would, you know, the volcano cannon would have shot down one flyer, the 8 las cannons probably shoot down another flyer, the heavy bolt, like it could have possibly killed 3 flyers in turn 1, right? So it's an interesting option. If we lose the next 4 games on the channel and we're gonna have to go to the tournament and I do not have a list that I feel that is really strong, then, you know, fuck it, last minute we'll throw the falchion in as my tournament list and we'll see what happens. But let's hope that, you know, let's hope that the dice gods give us a little bit of luck this week, or just give us a decent start of the game. Because I think if we have a decent start of the game, I think we'd be in a we just had a few horrible starts a few weeks in a row. Desperate Dan tactics, I think. I mean, it does win games. It will win games. If I go first, I mean, when I played Brett's, was it Brett's Corn Army? He didn't even get halfway across the board, and I basically tabled him. Just it shot away like 3 of his models in turn 1, like 500 points each turn. It shoots 500 points off the table alone, and then you've got the rest of your army to enjoy. So anyway, we'll consider that. I hope you guys have a great Saturday night. Thanks again, and we will catch you tomorrow. By the blood are we made strong, brothers. Peace.